Bonnie, good to have you with us.
Yep, thank you for having me and good morning.
Good morning. Hong Kong topped the IPO market last year. What's the forecast for 2026? How much clarity do you have? Can you do better?
Wow. A loaded question to start the day. Well, I should say this. First of all, we're very, very encouraged by the performance in 2025. We once again got back to the top of the global IPO league table, so that's very heartening. Helped 119 companies got listed, raising a total of 37.5 billion US dollars. But on top of that, we actually also did quite well supporting listed companies in their follow-on offering. In fact, we raised more money through the follow-on offerings, a total of 65 billion US dollars. So it was a solid year, and I would say that compared to the last few years, it's certainly a big turnaround. Looking into 2026, early days, but let me give you a report. So year to date, we've actually completed already 11 IPOs, and we're in the third week of the new year, raising a total of 4 billion US dollars. The pipeline is solid.
What is solid? 400?
350 plus, yeah. We do have confidential filings for certain categories of listing applicants. So the public filings that you see, it does not show you the full number. But it is a very big pipeline with very high quality companies. So a lot of positive things to look forward to.
Mega IPOs. I think you had 4 out of the top 10 last year.
That's right.
Are you looking at more mega IPOs this year? And might there be more non-Asian companies wanting to list on the Hong Kong Exchange?
Right. Yes. So last year we did 4 out of the 10 biggest IPOs in the world. So that was very good. This year, looking in the pipeline, we certainly have a lot of deals which are above $1 billion in terms of offering size. But I feel that this is not just unique to Hong Kong for a change. I'm looking at the other markets, and it seems like there's a big comeback for fundraising through IPOs. And so I think this will be a busy year for everyone.
So you can do better than 4 in terms of mega IPOs?
Well, I can do a lot more. Whether or not they're top 10, I think will depend on what the other markets are going to turn out.
There seems to be a Sell America theme. Is that benefiting Hong Kong in any way in the IPO space in terms of money flowing from the US to Asia, particularly in Hong Kong?
Yeah. Well, this is my 3rd day at Davos, and I would say that the one word that constantly come up in all the dialogue, it's the word diversification. So I think, you reported it a lot. The last few years, we did see maybe global capital gravitating towards the US and concentrated really in a few stocks. But given all the volatility, uncertainty, unpredictability, investors generally just want to seek more ways to diversify. And I guess once sort of that mindset shift happens, they started looking around and then they realized, well, actually, you know what? Asia, China, a lot to offer, and that's why I do feel that this trend or this desire to diversify is playing to our advantage. Now, to your question about whether or not we will be able to attract sort of a more diverse set of issuers, besides just Chinese mainland companies, the answer is certainly yes. We see a lot of pretty solid green shoots already emerging in 2025. So we have listed companies, for example, last year from Thailand, from Indonesia, from Kazakhstan. We even had a company which business is basically in Africa, right? And I do feel that we're going to see a lot more. And there's a very specific reason that I've observed. And it's the fact that, while there may be a lot of unpredictability in the markets, companies are still recording growth, in a lot of instances, strong growth. And in a lot of situations, what, I found is that these companies might have outgrown their domestic market, and therefore they need to seek to tap a deeper market, and that's when Hong Kong can really offer a very solid platform.
Surging IPO pipeline, but there are some concerns about the quality of IPO applications. Is there reason to address that in a bigger way?
Right. Okay, so first of all, I would say that we need to be very careful in terms of understanding what we talk about. Quality, it's non-negotiable, if you ask me. It's how we build trust for our market. We did, and it's reported, issue together with the SFC a letter to remind sponsors of Hong Kong IPOs that they need to really focus not only on quantity, but also to make sure that when they submit their A1 applications, their IPO filing applications, that it is in good quality, and they have done a thorough job doing the due diligence. It's not a reflection of the company itself. We are more targeted to give this reminder to the professionals involved in preparing that IPO. And I think, just going back to the pipeline, we're talking about, over 300 companies having filed, and this is a record number. So I guess, what, everyone is working very diligently, right? And speed is good. We also want to give them the reminder that speed has to, go in parallel with quality.
What is the issue? Is it a shortage of bankers? Is it the reliance on AI? Is there an understanding of why that is happening?
Well, I feel that it is really an excitement, meaning that, right, if you compare the last few years, right, when in a way you can say that the IPO activity is a lot more slow, it's a lot slower. Now, all of a sudden, right, all these companies are emerging, and the bankers are so eager to capture the moment and bring as many companies to get listed as possible. So in that sense, it's a very, very positive thing. But, right, just given that big jump, right, from, on the average, maybe 100, 150 deals that we, have to process a year to now, right, over 300, you can understand the stress that it's creating in terms of resources and just coordinating activities, and that's why I think all the more reason that we need to make sure that we remind the market our expectation. But in a way, I feel that if you look back to 2025, the deals that are done, if you look at the level of interest, over subscription levels, all that, it's very, very encouraging.
The normal practice, as far as I understand it, is to name and shame. But you've decided to issue a letter. Might there come a time when you would name and shame and, in fact, impose penalties if the quality is in question?
Yeah, I think the framework that we deal with, applications with quality issues is very well established, and that has not changed. What we did, in terms of sending out that reminder is really, like I said, a reminder, which I think is very timely. I think in situations where we do believe we need to send a stronger signal, the framework is there, and we will go through the usual process.
There are a lot of uncertainties in the world today. I'm just wondering, in your assessment, what are the biggest risks out there today for businesses and for markets?
Yeah. Well, if you ask me, just looking at my own business, I think it's the pace of technological disruption, shall we say, because, again, right, third day in Davos, and aside from, talking about diversification, inevitably in every conversation, right, you hear about AI, development in the AI space, in my business, tokenization, stable coins, 24-hour trading, right? So a lot is happening. And I guess, for executives in every business, you just need to make sure that you keep your ear on the ground, you stay tuned with the development, and you really think thoughtfully how to react to it. You obviously cannot ignore those developments, but at the same time, you do need to be thoughtful and not just jump onto an idea because of FOMO. And I guess that, to me, it's the big thing to focus on.
China back being investable, a lot of capital I guess, rotating into the Chinese market. But that seems to be some sort of a clampdown already by China in terms of like high-speed traders, the financing margin ratio, for instance. Is there reason to be concerned for foreign investors?
Well, okay, so first of all, it is a good development. I still remember, 2 years ago coming to this event, right? This narrative about, the investability of China, it's there, right? And I had a lot of very interesting debates with many people. My feeling is people will focus more to find reasons not to invest. Now, fast forward to now, I think it's changed 180 degrees. People listen very carefully and they focus more on the reasons why they should invest. So in that regard, I think it's a very, very positive development. Now, that said, right, I think with the advent of technology, market move in big magnitudes very, very quickly. So I think it is a responsible reaction, by regulators around the world to make sure that they stay, keep an eye on, how the market is performing. If there are signs of, bubble or, undue volatility emerging, then, again, gentle reminders to the market. It's a good thing. It's a healthy thing. But I personally am very encouraged, and I focus on the fact that that there is now a resounding belief that China is more than investable.
Bonnie, thanks so much for your time
Thank you.
today. Great perspective.